Hey everyone, welcome to Happenstance. This is a reading series conceived of and curated by myself and Parker K of 𝗕𝗄𝗏. We're really excited to be here today. We're at 𝗪𝗶 Point, which I thought was Baby Point, and maybe some of you also thought that. We're in the west end of Toronto by the Humber River. It's a very beautiful park. Lots of green space, and a bike trail, a walking trail that goes all the way along the Humber River. So I would encourage you to come check it out. And I was doing a little bit of research about this area before coming here today, and found out that before this was known as 𝗪𝗶 Point, it was a village founded by the Seneca Nation and Mohawk, and later the Missisaugas of the Credit. And that settlement dates all the way back to the 1600s. And yeah, so I encourage everyone to come check out 𝗪𝗶 Point. It's really beautiful, as you can see around me. And I'm really excited today to introduce our featured writer for today's reading, Sanna Wani. I've been a huge fan of her work for a long time, and I'm really excited that she's joining us today. Her first book, 𝗫 𝗫𝗄𝗏, came out earlier this year from House of Anansi Press. I would encourage you to check it out. It's a really beautiful work of poetry. And you can find her writing all around in various publications and online as well. So again, check out her book, 𝗫 𝗫𝗄𝗏. And without further ado, here's Sanna Wani. Thank you.
Hi everyone! I'm so happy to be here and so grateful Cason invited me. I also thought it was called 𝗪𝗶 Point. And so it's a beautiful spot right by the Humber River. I think I chose it because I just moved in like a bit away, 5 or 10 minutes. And I'm pretty attached to the river that's by my old house, the Curated River, but I'm excited to get to know the Humber River. Yeah, so I think I'll start. Maybe I'll start with the only poem in my book that has a river in it, which is really deceiving of me because there's a river on the back. I'm like, oh, from like the mountains to the river, and then I was like, wait, you only wrote about it once. But this is 𝗪RH is Sleeping. And it has an epigraph by 𝗕RH𝗶𝗶𝗴. Sometimes remembering refuses us. Sometimes I'm a shoreline, the water of memory drags its palm across. 𝗪RH is sleeping. In a daisy field, in a garden, in a graveyard, in the sun, its valley. In the sound of nothing. Your mother and father, two trees in the distance. In the distance. In the sound of the whistle, someone banishing you again. A hand in the distance, a greeting. In a greeting, a question. How old are you? 6? 17? In your body aging an immediacy. In a flower a new arm. Eat the apple. Your lips redden. The person you were, you are always becoming. Their breath spilling over your neck. A breath ashore, a whistle, a knife. Where is the wind? In love, the wounds you tend. A wound, a door, a lake, a fence. Whatever is perpendicular to your becoming, time is a terrible statue. The tide will eat its skin. To prevent heartbreak, practice disappearing. All the eels are missing. You are an expert in missing. A mouth, a lock, a gate, a key. Open your mouth and throw the word yet into the river. Into the river, your face leaking glass. A face, a flood, a crystal, a dove. Someday you will be in love again. the sun a wound on your windowsill. Light falls on your dreams. It sounds like someone knocking. I think the next thing I'll read from is a section of the book called Summer, because it's summer. And because the first poem in that section is actually features like one of my friends who I moved in with. So that's kind of cute, it kind of comes together. How does a smile get inside you? There is the sky tilted with light. There is the loosening we call a sunset. Here is where Natalina danced, and here is where Allison and I laughed. Lily shared a blanket until the ants came crawling. We didn't mind because we understood hunger. Open your mouth and I'm full of oxygen again. Love is what is alive between us, as good as air. Behind me now is a sky full of color. Beneath my face is a soreness, smile marking muscle. When I am old, you will sit on my skin, the corners of my mouth. Joy is a promise we make with our body. My skin, like the sky, is bright with memory. I am always falling apart and back together again. There is always more sky to drive toward, new light to cling to. And then maybe this one. This is what I wish my dreams were like, 𝗕𝗓𝗄 says, and we are sitting on 2 chairs in front of the sky. She says, when you lose that person, something vanishes. A house becomes a home. A roof, a chair, somewhere no one sits anymore. Time is slipping away over my face, under your hands. Grief punctures a hole in time we slip through. We wait, weep, wander, wonder about her face in your dreams. Ask, whose dream? Like, was that really her? Only the crow knows. The crow who knows how to laugh and recognize a face. Wisdom passes mouth to mouth. When a crow caws, family is coming home. There is still someone who calls you home. I'm reading this book lately called 𝗪𝗓𝗓 the Mountain by 𝗕𝗓𝗓. And there's one poem that I really wanted to bring and read because I've been rereading it a lot lately. And it's called, It is Sad to See a Horse Sleeping. A horse is not a horse when it's not running. If a grasshopper could be a horse, if a bruised boy. I can't remember how I found myself inside this story. Have I appeared too late in the scheme? Too late to save anything. Already it's evening. The grass shines its invisible green, the meadow an emerald pulsing in a breast pocket. Now the horse a windmill in the field, the mountains beyond it, insurmountable. Say it's the last horse in the world. Say a bruised flower scents better than those intact. Or I can still save the horse, and in saving the horse I will save myself. But the horse has trained itself well with terrible horselessness. The horse is a broken fruit, a sweetness no one can relish. Wake up, broken fruit. I shake him. The horse isn't responding. I lift his neck, strap his belly like a scarf on my shoulders, and carry the horse, till my spine aches when a stem of aster breaks, 10,000 miles away. And then I think I'll close it with one last poem, which is one that is from the second section of the book, which is very long and kind of one poem, but I'll read something very short. And I guess a bit to understand the section is like it's trying to have a conversation about like what is God's form, and in understanding that, what is like glory or beauty. Yeah. Where is the key for our understanding? Look at the lock. No one can prove tradition. Nothing can be located, not even the spot from where God left the earth. Everyone is always competing to be the most sacred. This is how we think of the early. Everything is always moving. The idea of you was not new, but it was arriving someplace it had not been, like inside us, where it could strike root, where it could blossom. Thank you.